Hey, we're back.
Hey, after a brief break.
Yeah. Seem to have our technical difficulties taken care of here. Or if you're hearing an echo or not our voices at all at the moment, maybe we haven't. So
Leave a reply in the comment section to know that more than we have listened to this.
yes, absolutely. Please. Our egos depend on it. His ego, anyway. This is your likes on Facebook is everything you live for, right? So, hey, everybody, this is the Velleity Studios update and comic booky show that has no title.
Yeah.
And I'm co-founder of Velleity Studios, Chris Hoffman.
And I am co-founder of Velleity Studios, Andrew Malin.
Isn't that weird? Like, that's like kind of coincidence that we're both co-founders.
Well, it took a while for us to find each other,
Yeah.
to work together, since we had each co-founded Velleity Studios.
Right.
And it just took years to figure out where the other co-founder was.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. Some people go through their whole lives and they never find
Their co-founder.
their co-founder.
Yeah.
So we're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
So today we wanted to give an update about what's going on with our projects. So first things first, we got something to celebrate. We the latest Kickstarter has made. So you're saying to yourself, didn't you guys just make a Kickstarter? Yes, absolutely we did. The horror comic tarot cards did make and in spades. That was just an amazing,
Tremendous success.
yeah, tremendous. Best Kickstarter ever.
The greatest.
I'm hearing all sorts of people talking
Your
about
vocabulary
it.
is too big for that. You
Sorry.
gotta dial it back. Fourth grade.
But so we had that one, and we're going to show update for that. But our latest Kickstarter that just made is a series of comics called Edison Bell. So who's Edison Bell, and who cares about this? Well, you do, because you're watching this show. So Edison Bell is this handsome-looking young man right here who seems to...
Certainly not Tintin.
Yes, red, because he's got red hair. It's a completely original character.
Exactly.
And he was a feature in Blue Bolt Comics. So Blue Bolt Comics was a... tell us, you're the comic history professors. Tell us a little bit about Blue Bolt Comics.
Blue Bolt Comics was a fun 40s Golden Age comic. The Blue Bolt character was created by Simon and Kirby. And he went through a lot of changes over the years. He started as a superhero, and then he became a police officer, right?
Yeah, he was a fighter pilot.
He was, and then he became a fighter pilot, and it was, he just followed the trends wherever they went.
Yeah, he was a Flash Gordon kind of ripoff. You know what I mean? That was the time. You know what I mean? Like to us, anybody who looks like Flash Gordon would be Flash Gordon, right?
Yeah.
But to the time, that's when Flash Gordon was kind of made. You know, so they all were kind of in that soup together. You know, so there were like the
Space heroes.
the space heroes that came out, and so he was one of them. And Blue Bolt, just an aside on that one that I always thought was funny is that he went to Mars and he met the Queen of Mars, right? And then World War II broke out, and he became a fighter pilot whose code name was the Blue Bolt. But they didn't change the guy. Like the character, it's the same dude. So it's like you couldn't call the Queen of Mars with her spaceships and stuff and come take care of the Axis. You know, he's like, no, this is something I got to do on my own. It's like, no, you could call the Queen of
Gets
Mars.
in his P-38.
Right.
You know.
So anyway, Blue Bolt, a product of its time, it had a series in here called Dick Cole. He's basically the Flash. You know, he could run really fast, and he was in a military school. It was really cool. They had these like wartime ones where Crisco and Jasper. They had these funny comics in here and whatnot. But what I was super interested in. These are all in the public domain, by the way. The company that printed these did not renew the copyrights on these, and so I'm really interested in public domain superheroes and public domain comics. I think these are a great resource. I think of our copyright system, one of my favorite things is that you can use older stuff that people don't have the copyrights for anymore, right? So you want to make a Frankenstein story, you make a Frankenstein story, right?
Was that Kid Eternity? That wasn't Kid Eternity.
It's not Kid Eternity. It is Ghost Sergeant Spook.
Oh, Sergeant Spook.
Yeah, get him right. It's a kid with, look at this child endangerment going on right here. This guy's shooting straight at this kid. It's a ghost cop that's a ghost, but for some reason can punch people.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a story coming up about a were-ghost.
Right. That's a sneaky peek right there for people who are watching the show here. Blue bolts, and nuts. That's a good one.
Blue bolts and nuts and Dick Cole.
Dick Cole, man.
Well, were they trying to get away with something? Right. Good grief.
Maybe those censorship boards they had in the 50s weren't so wrong. But so Edison Bell, I was looking through a whole bunch of these superhero comics, looking for material for our other product. And Edison Bell is a story about Edison and his buddy Jerry, who's also an inventor. And it used to be called Edison Bell Young Inventor was the title of the comic. What happens in these comics is Edison Bell and Jerry go, and his sentient robots sometimes, like he forgets that he has like a robot that can think and talk.
And feel. And
love. They go on an adventure. There's always some sort of adventure going on. I mean, these are like the 40s kids, they get out and they go on a river, they build their own boat and they go out on a river. There's no worry about whether they're going to come back or not. If they die on the river, they weren't tough kids,
It was the Depression.
Yeah. It's like one less mouth to feed. So, but they have some sort of adventure here. And then at the end of the story, there is a blueprint to build whatever, sort of was the crux of the story. So in this one, Edison and Jerry actually, they start a fishing business without a commercial fishing license, by the way. You know what I mean? They're just,
do they address that?
No, not at all. This was like pure capitalism. These kids, they were just like, we're going to get a boat and fish, and we're going to bring them back.
Sell them for nickels.
Which at the time is good for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they teach you how to make a bait box in the end of this story. So there's about 90 of these, because this guy, in the Blue Bolt comics, the mix changed. Sometimes Blue Bolt was in it, sometimes Dick Cole was in it. Never was there not an Edison Bell. I think this guy was like the Cal Ripken Jr. of making these comics, because they're fun comics. They're pretty neat about the adventures that these kids have. It's sort of a Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn type of thing. You know what I mean? It is
meets
also
MacGyver.
Meets MacGyver. Yeah. It is a product of its time, so it does have some problematic things.
Less than sensitive.
Yeah, so you have to keep that in mind. We put that in a disclaimer. So what we did is we took these comics and got them through Photoshop. I cleaned them all up real nice. And we have 2 different volumes that are available. So you can get a 120-page version.
Greatest hits?
Greatest hits, like our favorite ones in there, 35 stories and plans. Or you can go for the big one, and you can there's a 500-page version of this with 90 stories and pages. It's almost all of them. It's a pretty cool deal. And I have 2 young boys. Yep. And 12 and 8. And if you go to the Kickstarter page, you can actually see my boys, Lucas and Seth, who were helped me build some of these things. Seth and I built a model plane launcher, which worked fantastic. I mean, we used different materials because, some of the materials in here, they're like, go down to your local tire store and get an inner tube, a rubber tube. It was like,
Yeah.
So, but most of the stuff that we built, we could go down to the dollar store and we built these things for like $4 or $5. So it's a cool piece of comic book history.
Yeah.
It is a fun story, and it's a fun project for parents to do with their kids.
For sure.
Wholesome, family time stuff. So.
Yeah, I love doing building projects with my kids, and so I look forward to putting some of these projects together with them as well.
Right. I remember doing some of these projects when I was a kid in scouting. Yeah. There's a bunch of the projects that were in here. So if you have a group of scouts or something like that. These are whatnot. These are perfect plans for that sort of stuff. The project is already made, so you're guaranteed to get it. This isn't something where
back
we're
it now. This is the time to do it.
Yep. Yeah, you're guaranteed to get it. There's not going to be any of this, ooh, are we going to make it? Are you going to? Nope. We are solid. We've made our goal. And so everything from here is just more comics printed for us. And we have not had a Kickstarter that we have not delivered on. Everything is getting delivered. I think we were a month late on one, and that was before you got on board. Yeah. And so I think you're going to keep everything running here, right?
Production, dude.
So anyway, Edison Bell, that is the first piece of business here. Second piece of business, just to let you know, you guys can remember our tarot cards.
Oh, yeah, because the video didn't post last week.
Right.
We need to tell them the good news.
Yeah, so second also good news here, if you've been paying attention to the Facebook page, this also made as our Kickstarter. So this made...
Well, it's the big news is that we've sent it to press already.
Yes.
So you will be receiving your tarot decks within a month or so if you're
by
domestic.
The end of next month.
By the end of next month if you're in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it will take a little longer for our international fans.
And that's up to your country's postal office, but we will definitely get it out and pack it with the care and love that they deserve. And so if you did back at a level where you got a online tarot card reading, we will be, when we send out to get your address to send it, just tell me what sort of tarot reading you would like, and I'll have some options in there. If you have questions about it, you just let us know. We're super excited about this. There's gonna be there's a local store here in Salt Lake called the Crone's Hollow, and they're gonna have these available on their shelves, and so we might do an event over there.
They're also will be available at Dr. Volt's Comics.
Right. And so, and other fine retailers around Salt Lake and around the world. There will be a set going to New Zealand. So keep an eye out for those.
We're excited for that.
We're going to do a sneak peek of this
new
thing here. So since you know we're all a big super fans of the public domain,
Golden Age comics
and comics and whatnot, I'm going to turn this just a little bit this way, so that I can get over to here. Yeah, get in there, nice and close. Closer. Too close, too close. Oh, gosh. So we are coming out with a card game. So this is Daring Heroes. I'm going to adjust here a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. Daring Heroes! So tell us about Daring Heroes.
Daring Heroes is a cooperative superhero adventure game where you team up with sidekicks, and you have special devices, and you get to play as characters from the fantastic Golden Age of comics, and you need to defeat a lineup of equally fantastic Golden Age villains, and you work together and fight against the deck itself. So you have so everyone works together to win. There's no competition other than to beat the game itself.
Right.
And it's good for 2 to 4 players. We're working on a solitaire rules for it.
As a matter of fact, depending on if you get more
if you just
cards,
play with 4 heroes, you can
play by yourself with 4 heroes, or you can play with 4 people, or you can do teams, 2 people take on 2 heroes. It's all about, but we wanted to make a cooperative game because there's not as many of those out there. And I'm a big fan. I like the co-op games because everybody kind of leaves feeling the same way. If you lost against the game, it's like, oh, shucks, we'll
get them next time.
We'll get them next time. But if you win, it's a big high
everybody
five
wins.
Yeah. So, but since these are all, we got all this public domain artwork. This is just fantastic. Like Phantoma, who was actually the very first female superhero comic book, and we've got Lion Man, who's one of the very first African-American superheroes, and the Black Terror, who's just such a cool-looking character.
Yeah, right? Classic design.
Such a neat-looking design. And then we got a set of these villains here, so like Dr. Frankenstein and the Machine Gun Robot. I think this is one of the first guys that we picked to be in the game, right?
Yeah, that was artwork that we'd used the artwork for the back cover of Craptionated, and we saw that and thought, well, of course there's going to be a machine gun robot in our game.
Yeah. And this guy is hitting this dude with a fish.
Yes,
Like,
pow.
give me a break. Like, how could you not back this Kickstarter? So this will be a Kickstarter. It's coming up. This was our demo deck to make sure that all of the card colors and whatnot come out. We're actually involved with or part of a cool Facebook group called the Public Domain Heroes.
Yeah.
And it's if you want to be part of it, check it out on Facebook. It's invite only, so you just have to put in there like why you want to be part of it. They just don't want people coming in there spamming it with nonsense and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people on there who are like redesigning old characters and stuff. Great community, lots of fun people.
I've never been in such a fun, active community.
It's really
online.
weird.
It's really great
to be on the internet and have a group of people.
And they're so positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So these guys, but they've made suggestions for the cards, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, they've been a wonderful help.
There's been some characters that are in a dubious state of copyright that we just basically don't want to, we
infringe.
We don't want to step on anybody's toes. And some of them are disputed. You know what I mean? And so there's no good reason for us to get in a fight about that. The cards that I do want to show you in here, if it hasn't sealed the deal so far that we've shown you, there is this device called the Doomsday Device cards. And if enough of these come out without you taking care of them, the Doomsday Device goes off and the heroes lose immediately. But look at these amazing pieces of artwork. I mean, the Earth getting blown up from a space laser.
The monster on the far end, that's Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
Classic artwork.
That's not a picture of Steve Ditko.
Well,
he drew it.
Yeah. You like the war wheel there?
The war wheel here. It's one of my favorite. I love these cards. So we'll show a card demo. We'll show how it plays and all that sort of stuff so that you can get in on it. You will not be left out. We'll have all sorts of cool stretch goals and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're going to have some cards that are going to be that you can vote on and that sort of stuff. We'll add more cards if we make our stretch goals.
We spent the whole summer play testing it. And some of you watching this video right now were influential in play testing it, and we've taken some of your design notes to heart, and we've credited you guys in the instruction manual. It's a lot of fun. We'll send out emails when Kickstarter goes live. Yep. But it was a lot of fun to make, and it's even more fun to play.
There you go. Jeez. Get that on the box.
Yeah.
Velleity Studios. So this is the part of the show where we do a spotlight review here, and since we've already been talking about Public Domain Heroes, let's move on. Golden Age characters. Let's move on to Chapter House's Phantoma, issue number 1.
Yeah,
and
we showed you Phantoma earlier on the card.
Yeah, this is that same character, a modern retelling of this story. So written by Ray Fox and and the art by Sue Lee. And those of you who have been following Velleity Studios and Hoffmangler Studios, Sue Lee is the artist from Salt City Strangers #2.
Yeah, available in our trade paperback.
Yeah, and so she's a New York artist. And
fantastic talent.
Fantastic talent, up and comer. You will see her on a Marvel or DC book inevitably. Yeah. So we're thrilled to see her working on a project that has a page in previews. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just super fantastic. So, but and the comic is great. You know what's fantastic? Not surprisingly, but like super cool. It's a take on Phantoma. So the original Phantoma was like this sort of like white queen of the African jungle. It was very not sensitive. You know what I mean? Like we were saying before, product of its time. But it was this she had these dubious powers. They were really not like well defined. Nebulous. Excuse me, not dubious. You didn't push up your glasses, you nerd. So her powers in the old comic books, where there was this flaming skull that could help her fly, and she would murder people in Africa for like killing gorillas and whatnot. It's great read to see that sort of stuff. Modern take on this is we've got Phantoma, who is it takes sort of a crow or specter sort of take on it. A young woman who has a couple of family members, twins here, lives in a rough neighborhood. Like you can see here, is gang members, graffiti and stuff like that around there. Well, these kids disappear one day, and the main character here, she's trying to find them, and she starts asking the wrong questions of the wrong people, right? So she gets into a little bit of a scuffle here. Spoiler alert! If you're gonna pick this up, she's kind of taken care of here in a fit of rage, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is the Phantoma power picks her up so that she can figure out what's actually going on with the kidnapping, which you find out may have something to do with the business dealings of her father.
Yeah.
So a little bit more that's going on. So
I love the artwork on the Phantoma character here. The way that she looks like she's got that internal glow.
right,
I mean, that is fantastic.
right, yeah. And great modern version of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's also
Scary. Good
scary.
grief. Ghost Rider's got nothing on Phantoma.
Right. So this is on currently on issue number 2. So pick these up from Chapter House. Get your local comic book store previews.
For sure. It's in there.
Pick these up. You could also give Dr. Volts a call. You can go to drvolts.com or give them a phone call at that number, and they are happy to ship things out to people. It's not a problem. So there's that one. There was one other one here that I wanted to show, and this one's came out last week, I believe. And so this is
Payback.
the Paybacks from Dark Horse Comics. So written by Donny Cates and Elliot Rahal. How do you say that? It's totally wrong. Rahal.
Probably.
And yeah. This is so up our alley, it's not even funny. If you've read The Salt City Strangers or The Gull or Trump.
Even Ruthless.
There's just, we're in this sort of postmodernist comic book era where we're like, we're not just satisfied with the superhero who stops bank robbers and gets kittens out of trees anymore. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We like these stories where it's like, hey, what else could superheroes do?
Yeah.
And so,
how do we deconstruct the concept?
Exactly. So what we've got here is a set of superheroes who are basically repo people.
Repo Man.
Repo Man. Well,
Yeah.
repo people.
Repo Lad. He was a member of the Legion of Superheroes, but he just repossessed cars.
Repo Lass.
Yeah.
Could be a girl.
Yeah. Well,
Fun. What we have is they're Repo Man, and in this universe, superheroes, people who want to be superheroes, it's very expensive to be a superhero. You've got to keep replacing your armor and your Batmobiles and that sort of stuff, and so people will take out loans, huge loans, and a lot of the other thing about superheroing, it doesn't pay very well.
no, not typically.
Yeah. Unless you're Booster Gold and you sit. That was one of my favorite things where he used to charge people. He was like,
Exactly.
I saved you from a subway crash. It should be worth about $200 a piece. Go ahead and make a line right here. One of my favorite characters.
And not everybody's a trust fund that has trust funds and are hung up on bats.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they send the people who send out the loans, they send out these guys, the Paybacks, and they have two teams. They have the A team and the B team. And so you've got Blood Punch here, the Soviet Nunchuck, Emery Reigns, and the Skisquatch.
Sisquatch.
Skis?
Skis?
S-K-I-S.
Skisquatch.
Skisquatch.
Nice.
And Sasquatch characters, man.
Yeah. The place in your heart for the
Right here with you.
Sam Scranches.
So the Sam Squanches. The Soviet Nunchuck is one of my favorite characters in here because he's Russian, doesn't speak English at all. And so what the characters do is they teach him phrases from movies. And that's what he says. And one of the phrases they teach him is from Blade 2. When Wesley Snipes says, there's always some mother effer who's trying to ice skate uphill. One of the best movie lines ever. And that's, what they teach him how to... So these guys, in the first issue, to give you a sense of this, they're repoing a superhero named the Night Knight. K-N-I-G-H-T, or N-I-G-H-T, K-N-I-G-H-T.
So he's the Knight of Night.
The Knight of Night, yeah. And he has a sidekick that...
and since he works in the evening, he's often benighted?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's got this sidekick that is a unicorn, that has a cape and same color cape and mask that he has on.
I love that the unicorn has a mask.
He has a mask. Oh, he's his sidekick. He is not his steed. He is his equal. And he's about to fight the Reflector, or what was this guy's name? It's a Mirror Master. What is it? Reflectoid.
Reflectoid.
And Reflectoid has murdered like the entire police squad. The Night signal has gone off. He's about to he's murdered all of these people. Night shows up and he's like, "Ha ha! I shall fight thee." And then he gets a text that the Goon Squad kind of is after him. And he's like, "Oh crap!" And he leaves the fight immediately. And you come to find out here that he's actually paying these people too. So he's paid the villain with the money that he borrowed to to be a bad guy that he can fight.
Oh.
Whoa! It is, and it just goes from there. This whole thing, they have a van that is like the TARDIS. It has it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. They've got this Batcave place. It is a bananas comic. I am so excited to see the rest of this. Yeah. They got a Bubble Boy character. Reminds me of Wanted, sort of, you know what I mean? But not so like...
Or The Boys.
The Boys.
It being so...
It's not quite that,
yeah.
You know what I mean? If you've read those comics, you know exactly what we mean by the line is it's a little bit back from that, but still just as a lot of really fun and funny. Highly recommended. Great stuff. Didn't you say, what's Donny Cates writing right now for... Is he writing something for Marvel? You said he was doing...
I think he's writing Thanos.
He's writing something, so this is...
I think that's the same Cates.
I think so.
Yeah, it's so.
So this seems like it's sort of like the... Marvel or DC is never going to produce this, so Dark Horse right here. Yeah. By the way, Donny Cates, Velleity Studios would absolutely print this. So, you know, I mean, if Dark Horse ever doesn't work out for you, which I don't know why it wouldn't, but you know what I'm saying? I just want to get it in there, you know what I mean? Say I know a guy.
And we know Donny Cates watches the show.
Yeah, he's going to watch the show. Somebody who knows him is going to watch the show and is going to send it over to him. Say these young upstarts who are making
neither young
quality
nor starting. Yeah.
There's these two old guys. They're trying to figure out the internet and they make terrible comics in Salt Lake, and they'd like to make a good one. No, we make one good one.
Two. It's two now.
All of our comics are fantastic.
Yeah.
And my mom will tell you.
And if you're not sure, you can certainly buy one and find out.
Yeah. And then and you can look at our refund policy, which is the none. I'm just kidding. No, we do this for fun. We've loved comics for, I can't remember a time when I didn't absolutely just love comic books.
Yeah.
And so this is just this is something fun. I never thought in a million years, you know, if I could go back and tell 13-year-old Chris, you know what I mean, I would.
Oh yeah, 10-year-old Andrew is pretty jaded. So he was like, he wouldn't have believed where we are at right now.
Yeah, making comics and actually having people, other people that are not us, showing up as the characters in costume at conventions and stuff.
It blows
like that.
my mind.
You had an experience the other day where someone mentioned the Mighty Trump out of nowhere and didn't know that it was you that had made it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, encountering that stuff out in the wild, I'm not used to it yet. I don't know that I ever will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think keeping that is pretty important. You know what I mean? Like if anybody who's a fan now starts finding us, you know, getting a little too big for our britches, make sure that you take us down a couple of notches.
By backing our Kickstarters.
By backing more Kickstarters. So that's pretty much all I had for today, Andrew. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to this?
No, I think this has been a wonderful, succinct episode. And you know what they say about brevity.
Yes. No, I don't. What do they say about it?
It's the soul of wit, so we should stop while we're ahead.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys make sure that you sign up for the newsletter off of VelleityStudios.com so you can find out all about when our new Kickstarters are going up. If you have a suggestion for a book that you'd like us to check out and feature on the show, we'd love that. Yeah. If you know someone who's a fantastic artist or a fantastic writer, send them our way. We're always looking for new talent and stuff to... We joke around before, but I mean, we really do want to make this something that people who want to create comics can access and get it done.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. Like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Good night.